Hello, I am physics faculty. I am Joy Mohanto. Today I will discuss projectile motion, which is a very important part for physics, right? Projectile motion. Projectile motion. What is projectile motion? Actually, projectile motion means that motion under gravity. What I am saying that motion under gravity. Okay, actually meaning of projectile motion is motion under gravity. One thing more, that this type of motion, that means projectile motion projectile motion is 2D, that means two dimensional. I'm clear everything. I'll clear everything. That what I'm saying at first, I told that motion under gravity, and second thing is projectile motion is two-dimensional. Then what is projectile motion? Actually, what is projectile motion? Look at here. When I projected an object in an angle, right, which is theta. I projected an object in an angle which is theta, right? This angle is called angle of projection. Angle of projection, right? And uh, when I projected an object in an angle, and there is an initial velocity, right? There is an initial velocity, which is u. Actually, we are talking about u sine theta, right? U sine theta. What is u sine theta? I am talking about later. That means when what I am saying at first, that when we project an object in a angle, right? Then look at here. Look at this picture. The object will follow this path. That means, look at here. If this pen I will project it, then look at here. This path is followed by this object, right? That means this object is followed a path like this. Understand? This path is parabolic. And this path in projectile motion is called trajectory. Very important point. Trajectory, right? Then shape of the path is parabolic and name of the path is trajectory. Understand what I am saying? Once again, that when I am projected an object and then object follow this path, these types of motion is called projectile motion. Okay, now look at here. When we projected an object in this angle is theta. Previously what I am saying, this velocity of this projectile motion have two components. Velocity of projectile motion have two components. Look at here. This is horizontal component, okay, which is we called u cos theta, and another is vertical component, which is called u sine theta, right? One is horizontal component and one is vertical component. Look at here. When the object is reaching the maximum height, that means this is vertical motion, right? And when I am projected this object, that object shifted to this end, right? That means this is horizontal velocity. And when the object projected this end to this end, then the object will reaches a maximum height. This is called vertical velocity. And at first point, I told you that projectile motion is two-dimensional. Why projectile motion is called two-dimensional? Because the velocity of projectile motion have two components. That's why this projectile motion is called two-dimensional. And one another thing is projectile motion is motion under gravity. Why? Because in this projectile motion, this horizontal velocity, remember this horizontal velocity always constant. Horizontal velocity always constant, right? And this vertical velocity, what about this vertical velocity? I am talking about vertical velocity, but at first what I am saying that horizontal velocity, right? Horizontal velocity always constant. Horizontal velocity means that the object shifted this point to this point, right? Look at here that I'm drawing once again. Look at here that when object followed this path, this horizontal velocity, in this horizontal velocity is constant. That means velocity is not changed, right? And this path or this range is called horizontal range. This range is called horizontal range. And when horizontal velocity is constant, at that time acceleration will be zero. That means horizontal acceleration in projectile motion will be zero, right? And what about vertical velocity? Look at here. When in this object, if I give a initial velocity, then look at here, if that object when go to upwards, the velocity of that object will be decreasing. Okay, that means when that object will reaches at this maximum height, okay, in this condition, in this path or in this condition, the velocity will be decreasing. Okay, that means after when the object is reaching the maximum height, the velocity will be zero, and after that the velocity will be again increasing. Look at here, when the object is comes to downwards, at that time velocity will be increasing. When the object is come downwards, at that time velocity will be increasing. Okay, that means in projectile motion, the vertical velocity at first decreasing, when reaching the maximum height, then velocity will be zero, and after that the velocity will be increasing. Okay, then what about acceleration? Look at here, in every point there will act acceleration due to gravity. That means this is a vertical velocity, and downward direction they are acting acceleration due to gravity. That means for vertical velocity, the acceleration will be constant. Which is small g, which is acceleration due to gravity, right? I tell you some formulas about projectile motion. Look at here. The formulas are very important in projectile motion. If an object projected in 45-degree angle, then the object will reaches the maximum horizontal range. Which is horizontal range? I told you that this is horizontal range. Then how will get 45-degree angle? Look at here. The formula of horizontal range is u square sine 2 theta divided by g. Look at here, we get here that sine 2 theta. If we write that sine 2 theta, then when the value of sine theta will be maximum? In sine 90 degree, right? What is the value of sine 90 degree? Which is 1. And cancel this sign, then we get 2 theta equal to 90 degree and theta equal to 45 degree, right? And here we know about that when we projected an object in 45 degree angle, then the object will reaches the maximum height, right? Then formula of horizontal range is u square sine 2 theta by g. What is u? U is initial velocity, right? And g is acceleration due to gravity, and value of small g is 9.8 meter per second square. But when we calculate any sum, or when we do any sum, then at that time we take this value 10 meter per second square, because this is a round of value, and this value makes my calculation very easy. Okay, then what is the maximum height? Formula of maximum height in projectile motion. The formula of maximum height in projectile motion is u square sine square theta by 2g. And what is the time period or time of lift? That means that object is in air how much time? This formula is 2u sine theta by g, 2u sine theta by g, where u is initial velocity and g is acceleration due to gravity. I am telling about everything about projectile motion. Okay, thank you.